Hello everybody, welcome back to Anton Recipes. Now what we're going to do today, we're going to try one of my favourites, which is a vegan burger. It's very easy to make and it's just made with a few ingredients that you can find in your store cupboard. So what we're going to start with, some quinoa, and it has to be the white quinoa. And we've got some onions, tomatoes, some seasoning and some oil. So the first thing that we need to do is to have some boiling water on, which I have here in my pot, simmering away. And we're just going to add the quinoa to the boiling water. There we go. Now what we have to do, we're going to leave this to boil and simmer for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Now this is a lot longer than what you would normally do, but we need the quinoa to be quite soft and sticky. So that's the first part. So I'm just going to cover that and leave that to simmer. I'll just turn that down a bit. So while that's simmering, I'm going to add some olive oil to my pan, about 2 tablespoons. And while that heats up, I'm going to add some onions, some tomatoes and some seasoning. Just going to add 1 medium-sized onion, one small tomato chopped up, and I'm just going to shallow fry that so that it softens. To my onions and tomato, I'm going to add some herbs and spices. So we've got half a teaspoon of paprika, we've got 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, we've got 1/4 teaspoon of coriander, 2 cloves of garlic and half a teaspoon of parsley. So I'm just going to add that to my onions and tomatoes. And also we've got, I forgot to mention that we've got some black pepper as well. Just give that a stir. Oh, the smell coming from this is just, oh, it's lovely. I'll just turn that down a bit. Oh, the aroma. If we had smell-o-vision. Right, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. And we'll just let that soften. Okay, so the quinoa has now been boiling and simmering and most of the water has evaporated, and you want to keep boiling it until you see the quinoa seeds split. And how you know is that you get a little white line. I'm not sure if we can see that. It's a little white line that you can see around the seeds. That means that the seed has split. And the reason why it needs to cook to that stage is because once the seed splits, that's the sticky stuff from inside the seed comes out, and that's what's going to help bind your burgers together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the quinoa to our cooked vegetables, and then I'm going to leave that for a few minutes to cool. So I'll just add that to the vegetables. There we go. Get everything in. Scrape every bit. You don't want to waste anything. And I'm just going to mix it in with the vegetables. So all that flavour is incorporated into the quinoa. Right, it's a bit soft at the moment because it's still quite hot. So once you've mixed everything in so that the flavour gets throughout the quinoa, you can leave that for about 15 minutes to cool. So it cools down enough so that you can handle it. Okay? Okay, so now the mixture has cooled, what I'm going to do is to make the actual burgers. But before that, I'm going to add a little bit of flour just to make the mixture a bit firmer. You don't need too much, and it will help your burger to form a lot easier. So just mix that in gently. It smells lovely, absolutely delicious. And these burgers, I'm going to fry them, but you can put them in the oven, or you can put them in one of those toasty bags and grill them for a quick snack. So it's quite versatile, this recipe. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in my hands, just to stop it from sticking. And just take up a small portion, about 2-inch diameter. Right, I've just got some burgers that I've put in the pan to fry. So you don't want to move them around too much because they are quite soft to begin with. So just leave them for about, I'd say about 3 minutes on each side. When they're golden brown, then you can turn them. Right, I've just finished frying the burgers. The portion that I showed you would make around 12 burgers, and they are absolutely scrumptious. They are so tasty and so versatile. You can have them in a bap like a normal burger with relish, salad, tomatoes, onions, etc. Or you can have them on their own with a little bit of salad for lunch. You can even have them for breakfast. and you can actually warm them up in the toaster in one of those little toast bags that you make your toaster sandwiches in. Pop that in the toaster, warm it up and have it for your breakfast with a bit of toast or on its own. It is such a versatile recipe, it's unbelievable, and it is absolutely scrumptious. It is so tasty, and I think kids would like it, adults would like it. You know, it's something that is extremely versatile and so easy to actually make. It's very straightforward and very easy. And a couple of the variations that you can do, you can add carrots to the mix, you can add kale, you can add mushrooms, and I think mushrooms will give it that meaty kind of texture. So for those of you who like that kind of feeling, that would be a very good idea to add. And you can use any kind of mushrooms, or you could use a mixture. So like I said before, lovely recipe, very versatile, and I am looking forward to hear some of your comments to see if you've tried it for yourself and what you think about it. Just leave a comment down below, and if you've got any questions, or even if you've got ideas of your own that you think you could add to it, I'd love to hear from you. Right, I've finished my quinoa burgers, and I'm just going to have mine with some chips and salad. Just cutting it into now. It looks quite firm. This is really, really good. Really, really good. And so simple to make. I can't believe how tasty it is. Absolutely lovely. I've only brought out one, but I'm thinking I might have another one. They're really nice. No, better not be greedy. Very good. Fantastic. That's what happens when you eat and you're talking at the same time. Oh my goodness, nearly choked myself. But yeah, these burgers are absolutely lovely. Very nice.